I mean, it makes sense why they don't understand how they're such terrible partners, because they don't even understand what terrible friends they are. Like, this is just a joke. I don't know if you've seen this. This dude was like, here's an example of how men have, like, friends that don't know anything about them. Before we go anywhere, I am the person who wrote this viral article some like 6 years ago, Men Have No Friends and Women Bear the Burden, where I not only go into this in this reported feature for Harper's Bazaar about the why behind it, but also the second half is what y'all can do to fix this. It's really not that hard, but you don't want to fix it. This is your learned helplessness. Men literally emailed me after this, found my email, and was like, but what do I do? Do you want me to go make the friends for you? You want me to start a men's group for you? By the way, I should do a follow-up to this. I should pitch it because I actually have different conclusions now. I stand by most of this, but that's another video. But this dude in particular, it's all just a joke to them. The lack of curiosity that men enter relationships with, even their friendships, and probably especially their male friendship, complete lack of curiosity. Someone says, oh, I broke up. No follow-up question. Anyone who's been on these dating sites, who's gone on dates with enough of these men, and I certainly had my fair share when I was on my little Tinder bender, where I was trying to fork a bunch of dudes, but then every once in a while I'd give some of them a chance. You know, like, all right, I'll go on a date with you. We'll see. I was so bored. I did like a one-woman show. I just made jokes, told stories, because they had nothing to say. Either they talked only about themselves, or they had nothing to say. Conversations are an improv scene, okay? I learned that in improv class, a lot about relationships, honestly. Even though I already knew this, it made a lot more sense when you literally yes and. That doesn't mean you say yes to everything and. It means you listen, you take it in, you validate them by saying like, I heard you, and then you maybe disagree, or you ask a follow-up question, or you add your point of view, or you tell a story that relates to that so that y'all can bond over it. But what you don't do is just go, cool, you broke up. I didn't even know you had a girlfriend. I didn't know her name. The guy was like, they broke up, he moved away from New York over this. And I really didn't know why you moved. You didn't think to ask. Like, hey, why are you leaving? Moving away from New York City, especially, anyone who's ever lived in New York, I lived there 7 years. Breaking up in New York City is honestly, I think, harder than probably breaking up with a partner. It took me so many tries to leave New York City because it has a hold on you. You know, it's so hard to leave. Well, maybe not for everybody. It is such a hard city to live in, and yet it is such an amazing city. So my breakup with New York was long and hard. So that is a big deal. But didn't ask. This guy didn't even realize that he had met her. Then he said, Gen Z female, uh-oh. Red flag. Have you been red-pilled? Because any man that says female, any of us who work online for a living are immediately going to go, huh? What did you say? What did you call us? Was that dehumanizing language? So he's like, yeah, I had to move out of my apartment, left New York. Actually, moving out of the apartment's a big deal. So you left the city, like New York. It's very hard to leave. Moved out of your apartment. Huge deal. Whenever you move, it is so destabilizing, and with a broken heart. And this guy didn't even know he had a girlfriend, even though he'd met her, didn't know her name, didn't know they'd broken up, didn't know why he moved. This is male friendships in a nutshell. And this is also male relationships in a nutshell. Although they will tell us more, which is why they are like having a little loneliness crisis. It's because women are realizing they don't get much from this, right? If you have a man that you're giving all this free labor to, whether you realize you're doing it or not, and then he even like sucks as a friend, that's the thing. Like your partner should be one of your best friends, not your only best friend, mind you. You should have a lot of friends and more than one best friend. He should not be your only best friend. God's sake, you've known other people longer. Way longer, who've seen you through more. You just met this person sometimes, right? You should be friends. You should be very good friends. And a lot of women are realizing that living with these men, dating these men, they don't gain a friend, a confidant. They don't gain someone who's going to, give them that pep talk when they're feeling down, someone who's going to listen, someone who also will share their stories with. No, this is just literally labor. And I would argue more than any other kind of labor, well, not all cases, because some men will just, whatever, they're never even home. They don't even want to be around you. But if they're actually like in your home and seem to like you, In addition to all the other free labor you're probably giving him, it's the emotional labor. This is why having a partner who has literally no other friends, it will ruin your life. Maybe it's okay for a while. When that man retires and he's got no friends through work, if he's not a part of any hobby, if he doesn't spend some time outside the home and to have real conversations with men, because those guys probably hang out a lot. Honestly, they probably spend a lot of time together. They probably spend a lot of money on their hobby. Who knows? Men will spend a ton of money on their hobbies, be out of the home all the time, literally never even be with their family. But they don't actually build community and intimacy. They're literally just passing time, because that's what men do. They're time passers. Okay? The more privilege they have, the worse they are at it. They just waste time, pass time, do passive stuff. Rarely are they building anything. They love to be like, we built the world. Okay. Usually by stealing stuff. Stealing people's ideas, stealing resources, stealing labor. But okay. A lot of them are literally just, they consume, they're passively doing things, wasting time, spending money that they should be spending on their families, not actually building anything, and most importantly, not building community or intimacy. And these guys are a perfect example of that. So who do you think why do you think they want girlfriends and wives so bad? They hate us, they complain about us, and then they're like embarrassed to be with us if they do have us. Most of these dudes, especially if the more red pill they are, which they all seem to be a little bit. Not all red pill, but they all have patriarchy to unpack. All of them. Just like white people, we all have white supremacy culture to unpack. They don't know what to do without us. That's why they're so pissed. And women are like realizing that it's a lot, it ruins our lives being with these men that take our money, take our labor, make our lives, age us. You know, we look worse when we get out of these relationships. We look worse while we're in them. And we have a huge glow up when we get out of them, because we didn't even realize that doing all this for free and being invisible and being exploited and being ignored, it's crushing to your soul and it's exhausting. So women are realizing this is a bad deal for us. We don't really want to have anything to do with men who behave in relationships with friends, which you are one of them if you're dating them, like this. But let's say that they don't really have any other friends, but they do open up to you, which men do this a lot. Dr. Cecilia Regina just made a video about this, about Love is Blind. I haven't watched it yet, by the way. I don't know if I have the time to do that right now because of other stuff happening, which I'll share about later on. But they will tell everything. Like, they'll be emotional with us. They'll tell us all their stuff. When I was on Tinder, I became like the freaking therapist and life coach of so many of these men that I was literally just forking. I didn't remember their names. Didn't even go on a date with them. We literally met up to hook up. But because, you know, I've worked with so many men, I'm very comfortable like hanging out with men, and they feel comfortable with me as like one of the boys because I've worked with so many men and I'm a tomboy. They started telling, but then I'm still a woman, so they could, you know, fork me and then like trust me more than other men. The way they would open up to me about all this stuff. I was forking this guy on the beach at like 3 a.m. in Saint-Tropez when I went camping down there. Right? He picked me up from my campground. He drove to the beach. Talk, Ferk, and then starts talking about his mom's suicide attempt. Like, I was like, oh my God. I was like, have you talked to anyone about this? No, maybe you should talk about somebody with this. Anyway, back to business. Like, oh my God, y'all are exhausting. You're exhausting because you won't do anything to solve your own problem. And your problem is building community and relationships, and that requires effort, that requires active listening, that requires empathy, that requires curiosity, asking questions, asking follow-up questions, and like just caring. And then you bitch about being lonely. Fork off. And you also don't even vet your friends. You'll hang out with anybody. That's why we don't want to hang out with your friends, because we know half of them are probably rapists. I mean, maybe not half, but the way men will just are like, you know, my mutual, who said it? I gotta see if I can remember to tag her. Made a video about this and how men don't vet their own friendships. They don't. They can get away with being in community with guy friends who do terrible things because they don't even know what those men are doing. They don't care. They don't ask. They just want to play video games with someone or go rock climbing or whatever the hell they do to waste time and pass time and waste money too. Patriarchy has cut y'all off from your humanity the same way whiteness and white supremacy culture and capitalism and all these systems cut us off from our humanity. But men are really suffering from this, and the only one who can save you is yourself. But that means you actually have to do something. Even a woman like me, a journalist who did all this research, Interviewed all these men doing great things to fight against, presented it to you for free, and you still won't even do that. Stand up. Street art, street art, street art, street art in France. Common song, street art in a place called Sad France. Street art, common song, look at this. Oh my God, I hope I don't get a violation from YouTube because, whoa, oh my God, street art, common song from Sad France. For more stuff about traveling, other stuff, go to my Patreon. Street common song from a place called Sad France. France. Set France. Comment song. Look at this. That's so cool. My Mighty Man Choice. Gang art. Comment song. Street art comment song. And look at that cute jacket I have on. Street art comment song. Did you hear the comment song? Et voila.